Fly belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey. Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant.
Fall obsession, baby.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Fall Obsession podcast episode number 45. Pretty awesome that we're continuing to be able to do this for you guys, coming out with a new episode every Monday morning. Appreciate you guys continuing to listen. We are once again sitting in the outstanding man cave of our good buddy Chance Nelms. Chance, welcome back, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me again. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's always a good time. And then sitting next to me is our co-host for today. You guys know him, our media production manager, Nick Powell. What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up?
So you guys hopefully have already listened to a couple of awesome episodes that we've done with Chance and another special guest, Brody Aiken, here in the past couple weeks. Been really awesome to hear some cool stories and just hang out and have a good time with these guys. And again, Chance, thank you so much for hosting us. This is an awesome place to do this, and we love it. So
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
So guys, before we get into the meat of today's discussion, we are going to give a shout out to our friends over at Vapple Products. We're very grateful to our partnership with them. They've been putting some quality attractant products in our hands for a couple seasons now. I know I've been using it this year. Nick, you used it. We used it on some public land earlier this year as well. So we've been using this stuff. It's effective. We field tested. It's field tested and proven by us and our staffers across the country. And on top of everything, it's affordable to the everyday hunter like you and me. So it's definitely worth checking out. So go to vappleproducts.com, see what they have to offer, pick you up some just to try, and see the difference for yourself. So, all right, we are recording this kind of early to mid-December, and hunting season's still going on, but, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, sort of, ish, for some. But you, Chance, have had quite the year so far this year when it comes to putting deer on the ground. Lucky, first off, and then we want to get into that discussion today and talk about, is it 4 deer total that you've put down this year so far?
Yeah, so far four deer, and that's a couple states. So definitely been blessed to have the time off and the money to go. And
Yeah.
man,
$4.
Yeah,
Yeah, $4.
Yeah.
So 3 whitetails and a muley, right?
3 whitetails and a mule deer.
So we'll start. We'll leave the mule deer for last. We'll talk
Okay.
about that one last. But let's. I know you've been on here before. Give guys just a brief rundown on who you are and environment you hunt.
Yeah,
and
so
we'll dive into this.
Name's Chance Nelms. Live in North Texas, just in between Gainesville and Sanger. So
Yeah.
hunt up in towards the Panhandle area, and man, I was just fired up about this season because everybody I know that hunts and everybody's throwing trail cam pictures of just stud whitetails, and it was looking to be just an awesome season.
Yeah.
And so I just had an itch, man. I couldn't get out there fast enough, and season started a little late this year. I guess it was, I don't know, a week later than normal or so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was going to start that weekend of Halloween, and it didn't this year. It was that next weekend, but got to take my oldest kiddo, my daughter, on that youth, and that's when the season really kicked off, and she's crazy busy with junior year of high school and college and everything else. But we slipped away for that, actually just 2 hunts, just that Saturday and Sunday morning of that youth weekend, because I had to work at the firehouse. But anyways, so that's when it really started, was that weekend. Hunted Saturday night of youth, saw a ton of deer, a couple of good up-and-comer bucks, and then it all happened Sunday morning. That next morning, we ended up seeing like 60-something deer that morning.
Good grief.
But we had, it was one of those things, we hunt a big wheat field, but it wasn't in yet, and we're one section off the river up there, and anyways, we caught these deer. They were having to come 2 miles farther than they normally do. and we caught a little bachelor group of 3 bucks coming across the wheat field that I would say normally are probably already back bedded by this time, and it was, just light, 7:30 in the morning. A nice 4-year-old buck, a really nice 5-year-old buck, and a giant that was, I'm thinking he was 5, maybe 6-year-old, but
Yeah.
he was second biggest deer I've ever seen out hunting. He was a legitimate Boone and Crockett 10-point, just a clean 10. If you're thinking about a perfect deer, that's who he was. Decent at scoring offhand, and I'm thinking he was 182 to 185. Just a stud, and ended up being the biggest deer that I've ever actually had an opportunity, shot-wise. And my daughter didn't see him at first. We watched him come across this pasture, and like I said, it's a good ways, so it was over a mile. We watched him for probably 30 minutes, and we didn't see the big one at first. And we saw the second one, which was a stud. And anyways, we actually get a shot on him, but I think a little buck fever and all went to play. So it would have been her second buck, and she was really excited and fired up.
As
that
anyone
happens.
would be. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. But that's how the season started. So I just knew, along with everybody else I've been seeing in our truck and pictures, that, man, is this going to be one of those epic seasons? And so that next weekend, man, I was ready. And it started off hot and heavy. We had a lot of deer showing up, a lot of bucks that we didn't have sightings of that were showing up every day. It just kept coming into play. But it was hot. Man.
Yeah.
It's been hot for a long time.
It was hot,
Here
man.
in Texas.
And in fact, I was sending pictures to my other buddies and my dad that was hunting with me out there. I'd make it to the stand, try not to be soaked,
Right.
and sitting on the ground in some spots, try not to be soaked. And man, I'd get there and I'd kick off my boots and take off my socks, and it would help me cool off. But it was funny pictures with, I sent it to them with my feet out in the sun. But anyways, man, it was hot, and the big bucks weren't moving. A lot of deer were moving, but just not the right ones. We're trying to shoot mature bucks out there, 5+, and everybody was asking back at camp. We'd come back to camp. You see anything? Yeah, but not a lot of activity. We are running feeders out there as well, but man, the deer weren't coming to those either. I think they were just hot like we were, and they were laid up. Anyways,
Yeah.
man, it all came together on November 10th, and that evening I had a real nice mature 5-year-old 8-point come in and got him, and he was on some does and got back to camp, cleaned him up. Everybody's talking about it, and I was like, man, I think it's about to happen.
Yeah.
Just the way that mature deer was acting on those does, and man, the next day, November 11th, it happened. I had another giant come in. The first buck on the 10th was a good mature deer, but he wasn't a giant, a wall hanger, quality deer. But that next morning, man, he ended up going 148 as an 8 with a couple of kickers. 148 7/8, and just a nice mature buck, real nice deer. But man, he about gave me a heart attack. He's one of those. He was chasing hard, and I had him in the scope twice, about to take a shot type thing, and he would chase her, And I was like, man, I'm not going to get a shot at this guy. He wouldn't come out of the creek area, and finally came out into a little draw where I had a shooting lane trimmed up, and I got him, dropped him right there, and man, two mature deer, back-to-back hunts. It was awesome,
That's crazy.
Got him back to camp, hey, this thing, he was on a doe chasing hard, and it's happening. Well, that place was a second property I got, and the ranch we hunt splits a couple. Actually, I think it splits 3 counties, but I got 2 places in 2 counties. So one's a 1-buck county, the other one's a 2-buck county without the restrictions. And fired up, and I was like, man, I got another buck tag, anyways.
Yeah.
2 doe tags as well, but I usually keep those to go out and shoot with family. But then I hunted that afternoon on the 11th, and I had another really good deer, 6-year-old buck come out, right up there as well, pushing 150 class. And this all went down within 24 hours, and I'm tagged out on my bucks, and it's
Crazy.
just an unreal season. Yeah.
So 3 3 bucks in 24 hours.
Less than 24.
Less
yeah.
than 24 hours. Oh my word.
3 140 pluses.
Yeah. So the haven't scored that smaller deer, but
Yeah.
he's a nice deer. I don't know if he'll go 140, but maybe. Probably not. But the other two, 147 and 148. A lot of character to him. That last one.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll work, I guess. But all right.
G2s and G3s, 13 inches.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
the only thing he was missing was width. But I mean, he's got everything else, just character to him. Cool deer. Great hunt. So I was done as far as my bucks. Yes, I mean, it was an unreal season. We had my 3 good mature bucks at camp. Another guy at camp, good buddy, Waylon Langford. If you guys might remember him, he was on a podcast a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pro staffer with
He's a
us.
pro staffer.
Pro staffer. Wish I was.
You could be.
He had a solid 6-year-old buck as well with the 8.5-inch drop tine. Just crazy deer.
Yeah.
For the season. Another buddy out there got another giant, just shy of 160. Just solid mature deer, and everybody was just on cloud 9. I mean, we got a little freezer out there for guys that are lucky enough to get a trophy, and we were out of space, so
You filled it up.
we filled it up.
Not a bad problem to have.
But man, everybody else is having an awesome season as well. So the weather, something was right this year, and it felt good to be tagged out for sure.
That's cool.
I know Waylon, he had a nice buck that he shot up there. I think we posted a picture of that not too long after he shot
did.
it. Mutual friend of all of ours, Justin, he shot a nice buck.
Solid deer.
It's been you're right.
You said his was 160s?
He was just shy.
Just shy of 160?
Yeah, 158 and some
That's
change.
right. That's right.
And that was actually the youngest deer brought into camp this year. He's one of those 1F deers,
Yeah, yeah.
But man, you got one buck tag. It's hard to pass up a 158.
Absolutely.
And some change.
Yeah, I probably would have a hard time doing it myself for sure.
So the one your daughter missed, he's still out there, huh?
I hope so. We talked to the neighbors that hunt. I say neighbors, we're hunting big properties. But,
Right.
that's a deer that I would have thought somebody would have had pictures of or something, and nobody's had sightings since. But
Really?
like I said, he was, I think he was at least 6. He might have been a 7-year-old, and he's just one of those deers. He got another lesson, and I'm sure he went nocturnal after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was early in the season, so we were really hoping to see him whenever the rut really kicked in, but we didn't. But
Yeah.
man, I talk about a heartbreaker because she was pretty upset. She's pretty shaken up about that.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
No doubt.
long shot, but it wasn't anything she hasn't made before. So
Right.
and it was just, man, I get excited just going as well, and that you let that buck fever kick in, and
Oh man.
it can affect the shot for sure.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. That's why we go, is for that
Absolutely.
buck fever.
It's all about
feeling,
the
so-
excitement.
Absolutely.
It's really cool that you could share that with your daughter
Yeah,
as
and
well. Let her experience that, because I think that as someone who was kind of brought up in deer hunting and started real young, that's one thing that hooked me. You know, I think that hooks all of us. So hopefully, from now on, she'll be hooked just like we are.
It was one of those deer that you got that image imprinted in your mind.
Yeah.
No matter if you got the harvest or not, you'll be able to close your eyes and see the beauty of that thing. He was just a
Yeah.
beast, He was. We got big deer up there where we're at, and this one was a legit 300-pound whitetail buck, just
Massive.
in his prime and ready for the record book. So
Wow.
maybe he'll be there. Maybe we'll get him next year.
Maybe so. Hope so.
That's why we go back.
Yeah, you're a little tagged out at the moment.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. I'm done. I'm done for the year. I say that I'm going back, I guess the weekend before Christmas, to take my niece to hopefully harvest her first deer. So
There you go.
maybe he'll show up for that. That'd be a crazy story, huh?
She'd be ruined at that
She'd be
point.
ruined. It's just
Absolutely.
that or just crazy hooked, and then
He comes out at freaking 50 yards. No, you're not allowed to.
Do not shoot that deer.
You cannot shoot that deer.
But yeah, man, it didn't stop there. It
I was gonna say, as we mentioned, you also got a muley
Yeah.
this year, and that was in New Mexico, correct?
It's in New Mexico. We're 34 miles or so north of Ruidoso.
Gotcha.
On a great ranch, and that was out of the blue, wasn't planned.
I was gonna ask how the opportunity even
Man, it
came
just-
about.
So I got a good buddy, Chad Corbin. He's living the dream, man. He's owns his own business, and he hunts all over the United States, and in fact the world. He was actually scheduled to go to New Zealand to hunt tahr and red stag this year until the COVID-19 messed that up, but he's still scheduled for it. But he's just living the dream, and a great dude on top of all that. But he's been hunting with this guy with Canine Country Outfitters, and he hunts New Mexico, Texas. He hunts all over the place. Top notch, top shelf outfitter. Hunts with that guy, and I would say they're basically just friends now. And anyways, Canine Country's been trying to get on this ranch in New Mexico for a couple seasons. Hadn't been able to get access to it, and it was like a last minute thing. Got access to it.
Huh.
Grande Vista is the name of the ranch. It's 67,000 acres.
Wow.
Anyways, got access to it, and it came with landowner tags. So had 2 rifle tags
It's quite the deal.
for that season and 1 archery tag. And man, he literally called me, I guess, on Wednesday. This is the seasons that started that Saturday before Thanksgiving and ran till Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and that's the season, the 5 days. And he called me. He's like, "Hey man, can you go on this?" And I was like, "Man, I'm off work. I'm done buck hunting here." Was blessed with the overtime this year and had the cash on hand. And I said, "Man, I'm in." He's like, "You got somebody else can go with you?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know if I can get." So I called around, couldn't get anybody to commit last minute. Decent amount of money too, and then
Yeah.
going into Thanksgiving, so nobody could go. And he ended up saying, "Well, I'm going to go with you." Kind of surprised his. That weekend was actually his daughter's 16th birthday,
Oh.
and surprised her with the mule deer tag hunt.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That is quite the birthday gift.
Oh my goodness. Jeez, I should just talk about that. She ended up getting like a 180 something class mule
No
deer.
joke.
Dang.
Just a stud. Anyways, I'll tell my story, and it leads into her story.
Yeah.
So we load up, 8-hour drive straight out 380. Get there, meet Ty for the first time. In my opinion, we became friends right off the bat, and so we drive out to this ranch, and man, we go through the gate, and it's 14 miles to the house, and it's just one of those cool places, And so that was on Friday. The next morning, Saturday is opening morning. We get up, and we kind of get the lay of the land. He'd been on the ranch before, so he had a good idea of where some deer would be. Man, we hunted hard all day. Saw a few deer. Saw 1 buck. I say it was 1 buck, one decent buck. And they didn't have a lot of deer there. There wasn't a lot, at least what we saw. And it might have been the time of year and the weather. The weather was pretty warm.
Yeah.
But we had a good idea for the next day, so we finished out the day locating these on one of the mountains that they had on the ranch. And I think they had 5 like legitimate mountains on this ranch, which is kind of crazy to
That
think
is
about.
crazy.
Huh.
So we had a good idea of where they were, and actually this mountain, the rancher called it Buck Mountain. I don't know if that's an official name, but that's what they called it. And so we got up the next morning early, got over there, glassed, and it's kind of valley, prairies, wide open, almost what you would think of seeing buffalo on, into these mountains that had the cedars and the different little scrub oaks and stuff. So it was pretty cool hunting. And we located a stud, absolute nice deer, probably mid 170s, I would think. Just a big, heavy, mature mule deer. And we had some weather coming in, but it looked like it was pretty good ways from us. Anyways, I don't remember the exact yardage, but we were pretty good ways from this deer. And we were slipping up on him. We literally had probably 20 yards to go to get in position to make a shot on this guy. And the weather hit, and it was like whiteout. Wasn't snow, it was fog.
Mm-hmm.
and it went to literally like 30-yard visibility.
Oh man.
And we're like, dang, you know, we were almost there. And we're like, well, we know where he's at type thing. This is going to pass, you know. Well, it didn't. The whole rest of the Sunday, we didn't get to hunt. I mean, it was literally the best visibility the rest of the day was maybe 100 yards. And so, yeah, it was kind of disappointing that we finally got one.
Yeah.
Or, you know, located. So then the next morning we get up, man, we get up early. The fog's still there. So we kind of waited it out a little bit. Finally started kind of lifting where we could glass a little bit, but still not conditions where we were glassing about 600 yards is about as far as we could glass, which it seems like a long ways, but whenever you're out in that country, man, you know, that first day we were glassing a mile, you know.
Yeah.
But we got on some deer, and we got on them like early and located a nice buck, and he was bedded down. And we didn't get a real good look at him because of the fog, but you could tell he was a mature deer. And man, Ty, the guy, just like, hey, you want to take him from here, or you want to try to slow up on him? So I was like, let's. The other day, it kind of bit us in the butt trying to get a closer shot, and I'm comfortable shooting, and I hunt with a 7 mag, and I had it shooting good, but man, we were hunting that Saturday when the weather was nice. They had a dead buffalo out there, and we shot some coyotes off of it, and he had a newer cartridge that came out a couple years ago. I think it was actually introduced in 2018. It's a 6.5 PRC, which is the big brother to the Creedmoor. And if you guys haven't seen that thing, the ballistics on it are about the same as a 300 Win Mag, but
really?
It's a 143 grain bullet. Anyways, he had this gun just dialed in, so I was like, hey, let me shoot your gun. And he had it dialed in, had the range finders and all the ballistics in his Leica, and he had the right gear, and had it dialed in. And we ranged him real quick, dialed it in, 580 yards, and he said, take him when you're comfortable. And I squeezed it off and dropped him. He never even got up out of his bed.
Wow.
So it was really cool, man. And it's a totally different experience than you know, whitetail hunting sitting.
Oh yeah.
I do a lot of sitting at a stand whitetail hunting, but I also have, you know, we got one box blind and some tripods and stuff, but the mule deer hunt was really cool.
Yeah.
So we dropped him. We're all high-fiving, fired up, you know, just a donkey deer, you know. I wish we could have weighed him because he was 3-something.
Yeah.
He was just big old
body
deer. Get up on him. Nice buck, first mule buck. All excited, get our pictures taken. Pretty good ways from the truck access, so we clean him up on the mountain there, and we get him off the mountain, get back to where we were. We hadn't moved our spotting scopes or anything from where I'd taken the shot, and we spot this second deer, this deer that I'm talking about with my buddy Chad's daughter got to take. We glassed this guy for like an hour and a half, and he was bedded down just like mine, and I mean, we keep looking at him. We can't see his left side. It's like behind this tree. Looks decent on his right, but he's a pretty good ways. He was, I think, just shy of 1,000 yards from us. Look at him. My buddy Chad's like, hey, let's go see if we can find something else. It's hard to tell anything about him. And Ty, the guy's like, I think we need to slip up on this deer and take a better look. And I said, man, I'll stay here and spot from here. You see how close you can get. They slipped up, got within 300 yards of him, and take him, and he's a 13-point mule deer, mid 180s, just a stud.
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
16th birthday present, you know.
Golly.
But she's ruined too.
Well,
Ruined.
She's ruined.
Done ruined it.
I don't know. She gets to go. He takes those girls hunting, and
Yeah, I bet they get plenty of opportunity.
He's got some 180s, muleys. He's got 1 over 2. He gets to go. And,
Lucky.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
man, if you can go on a mule deer hunt, go. It's awesome. The hunting is totally different. I mean, you're hunting. It's a physical hunt. It's different than sitting and standing.
What was the elevation out there in New Mexico?
We were 7 to 7,500.
Okay.
So
Definitely higher than here.
Yeah, it affected me, man. It was kicking my butt.
And just for the listeners who don't know, that was a third of a mile shot, 580 yards.
Yeah, that was my personal best. And like I said, I used his rifle that was dialed in. So it wasn't a holdover or anything. We doped it in.
Yeah.
And I felt confident in that shot with my rifle too. But man, after using his gear, he had the that Leica rangefinder that I was talking about, and it's called a I'm probably butchering the name. I think it's called a Kessler, and it's a weather station, if you will.
Huh.
And
Okay.
they Bluetooth to each other, and you can put his unit. You could put up to 3 different rounds in it, and it takes your windage, it takes your elevation, it takes your humidity, it takes all this stuff, talks to the
Good
rangefinder, and he had that to where you can do it on inches, you can do it on mils, you can do it on MOA,
That's wild.
and we just spun it to where it told us, and so it was a pretty cool deal.
Wow.
Pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
You still got to make the shot, but man, it sure.
It takes
helps,
the guesswork out of
yeah,
any of it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool deal for sure. If you can go west and get on something different, man, it's just a cool experience.
Man, I know Mule Deer's definitely on my list. I know it's on yours too.
Absolutely.
But it's just, yeah, especially my opportunities to go pronghorn hunting and stuff, getting just a little taste of that environment.
Yeah.
A different environment, a different kind of hunting. Man, it creates an itch. It
Yeah.
really does. Not just to go back and kill another pronghorn, but to mule deer and elk and all that kind of stuff. Get those on the board too. So.
But shooting a big mature mule deer on top of my 3 mature whitetail bucks this
Oh,
year,
yeah.
it's just that's my first year to tag out on my bucks here in Texas. Not that I don't try every year, but I don't. We always try to shoot mature animals, so
Right.
our lower end is 5. We really try to get that 6 and 7. But
Yeah. It's good
Mhm.
management.
that's how you shoot the big ones, man.
That's how you get the big ones.
That's how you get the big ones,
Well, yeah.
especially if everybody's on the same page with
Right.
that, for
Yeah.
sure.
That helps, for sure.
I think I've talked about it before, but we see a huge jump from that 4 and 5 and 5 and 6. It's 20, 30 inches a year. It's kind of crazy to think about, but
Yeah.
you have a nice 130 class. You let him go a year, and he's in the 50s. Just from
Mhm.
that one season. So
Oh yeah.
Hot tip right there.
yep, let him walk.
I definitely recommend for sure. That's how you get big deer.
Yeah. So when I'm talking about that gear that I'm not real familiar with, but getting out there hunting, we were using the three gear list would be we were hunting with that 6.5 PRC, and it was a Christian Arms Mesa rifle, which is a really cool mountain rifle. It's lightweight. It's factory rifle, but it's right there at custom. I mean, like the bolt skeletonized and upgraded triggers than what normal rifles, and it's still right there in the ballpark of around $1,100. So it's not like it's a crazy priced rifle.
Right.
Mhm.
He had the Varix 3 scope on it. So you're looking under $2,500 for basically a custom rifle. But you pair that with the Leica rangefinder, and the one I'm talking about is the 2800.com, and it Bluetooths to that Kessler, and it's the Kessler 5700 Elite. When you put those together, man, it's that thing we talk about when you have the right gear and everything matches, and you can go out there and hunt, and then you miss the shot, or you can do a little homework, get the right gear, dope in your scope to match your rifle, and have that ballistic that you can enter into the system. And man, sure made that harvest clean.
Yeah.
Like I said, that buck never knew what hit him.
And a deer that
Really
big
cool
too.
deal. So I'm hoping to get that for Christmas, that rangefinder and that Kessler system.
Yeah.
Because we have shots like that.
What you got? Nick's showing us what we're talking about here. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
We
it's-
can post a link of that with this episode too, so that guys can
So
look at it and
it's-
see
yeah,
what
it's,
we're talking about here if they're not familiar.
Kestrel weather
Kestrel, yes.
Kestrel.
weather meters. That is super cool. Yeah, so this just says it's a Kestrel line of ballistics weather meters combine environmental measurements with a ballistics calculator, allowing for higher target shooting accuracy.
Yep.
So
They're really cool too. They're not just for shooting. They're for all kinds of stuff. Doing some research on it, I saw a lot of wildland firefighter guys use them.
Oh yeah.
But they got a whole list of different functions that you can do with them. Pretty cool little unit.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've seen them around. I just hadn't looked into them a whole
Yeah.
lot.
So I think that new system, like I said, that talks to your rangefinder with the Bluetooth technology, and then like I was saying, like you hunt here in Texas and you go to the range and you sight in your gun, you can pretty much go, unless you go way far west out into the El Paso area mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all the same as far as shooting. But you leave here and you go to New Mexico, Colorado, or anything like that, your elevation changes, and man, it really does affect your ballistics as far as your where your round's going. So
Yeah.
with that, you can put in where you're at and where elevation you're at. I'm not even sure if it might do it automatically,
It might go off your location.
but man,
Maybe.
get the right gear and do right for your harvest.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not wounding an animal. You're dropping him in his tracks. So
That's definitely something that we've said before.
Yeah.
Once you get your Christmas present in, we'll have to follow up with you on a little bit more detailed on exactly how it works and
Yeah.
what all the capabilities are. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we could touch a little bit more on the 6.5 PRC.
yeah, so it's new. I think it came out in 2018. Like I was saying, I didn't really know much about it. I know some guys that are hunting the Creedmoor. That's a great round too.
Mm-hmm.
Flat shooting, accurate, But if you really look into it, it's only really good out to about 500 yards.
The Creedmoor.
As far as having, and if you're just shooting paper, which a lot of guys do that, shoot targets all year, and then they try to go out and hunt. Well, yeah, you can make a 1,000-yard shot with the Creedmoor, no problem, if you're set up right.
Right.
But doing a clean harvest on a big buck, that's a different story because you got to have that energy. So the energy that I've seen is it's about 500 yards. And this new PRC, which is the exact same bullet, just a different casing, and like I said, it's souped up, man. It's like 3,100 feet per second, and it's right there with a 300 Win Mag. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's new. I mean, a 2-year-old rifle cartridge is I'm gonna say that's new.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
But wow, that thing was.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think. Well, we shot both of those mule deer on that hunt with that rifle, and I don't remember how many coyotes we shot. We took one shot on a coyote at 1,040, and I thought we hit him. I was looking through the spot and scope, and his hair puffed. That's how close
Yeah.
of a miss it was. Man, that thing was dialed in.
You got lucky.
Dialed in.
wow.
I'm gonna have to, because what I have right now is a 10-year-old Mossberg 30-06 with a.
10 years old. That's ancient.
I know. That's all I'm hunting with right now. And I got a loophole 3 to 9 by 40 or by 50 on top, and it's just one of those quarter-inch turn dials on top and on the side, and so I'm needing to juice up my rifle game a little bit. So
I got a bow.
I got one of those too.
It's about the extent of my rifle game. Is I got a bow.
I need to get a new bow.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yep. We're gonna have to.
Get you down Cinnamon Creek.
Yeah.
You can only buy so much gear a year,
I know. You
true.
Your money has needed to go elsewhere this year, obviously.
No, man, get the good gear, and it just makes everything that much more enjoyable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It
absolutely.
really does. And it lasts you forever. I mean, I remember if you guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. MTO 50 is kind of the original upper end Cabela's, rainproof, windproof, had scent lock liner in it. MTO 50. I think they still make it. I haven't looked for it lately because the stuff I have is still good, and it's I'm probably dating myself here, but I think 18 years. It's still like my main jacket and pant for.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
No.
little vintage camo there, but
Yep.
stuff's awesome.
I'm all about buy quality up front. You won't have to buy anything else.
You really, I mean, yeah.
I know that a couple weeks ago when Brody was on here with us, he said the same when he was talking about his
For
gear
sure.
for his mule deer hunt. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you don't have to buy the most expensive. And I'll say the most expensive is probably not the best. But just get good quality that you can afford, you know. Not the stuff from, you know, the big box stores that we
Yeah.
don't like to go to. Because their stuff maybe I guarantee it's not going to last you the season.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Not if you hunt like that.
And not if you hunt like we do.
Kill four deer in that short a period of time.
But, man, this whole year's been awesome. It really, you know, and I hate to say that just because of the year that everybody's had and the effect that the nation's had for 2020. But, man, I started off 2020 hunting, or not hunting, but fishing down in Mexico with my dad for a week, and it's just gone.
It's been an awesome.
It's just gone on.
Yeah, awesome year in that perspective, for sure.
Just resetting to the outdoors instead of getting exposed in the malls, you know.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, Chance, we'll get ready to wrap it up here, but really awesome stories. Awesome you're able to come on here and talk to us about those. We really appreciate it, as always. It's a good time.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me.
So awesome.
Thanks for again for hosting us as well. This is probably our favorite environment to podcast in. So
Yeah.
we love it here. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Good dynamic you've created.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last time. We need to do a campfire podcast one of these days.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Stay warm and have the crackling fire going, you know.
that'd be awesome. Something that we need to do before it gets too hot again. You know, so which will be here in a month or
I
two.
think it's
you
today.
know.
I think it's supposed to be 80 or something today.
Oh my gosh.
It was like 70 yesterday.
I know. Weather's been actually pretty nice. Cold mornings and
Yeah.
mid 60s in the afternoon. It's been really nice around here lately. So,
Sweating.
all right, guys. Well, thank you all for listening to another Fall Obsession podcast episode 45, I believe, is what we established that this was
Jeez.
going to be. So, appreciate you guys continuing to listen, continue to tune in every Monday morning. Again, we come out with a new podcast. So, if you haven't already, hit that follow and subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. We are wherever you get your podcasts, so go check them out. And like I said, every Monday morning, tune in. Facebook, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. That's where you're going to find all our content. We post daily content relevant to the everyday hunter and outdoorsman. Fallobsession.com is the hub. That's where you can find all of our stuff online, reviews, articles, videos, photos, everything that we got. Podcast as well. We got a page on there for our podcast. And while you're there, if you have a suggestion, topic you want to suggest, or question, or just general feedback, we got a form on that page, fallobsession.com/podcast, that you can fill out and send it to us. We take criticism constructively for the most part around here. So
Yeah.
Nick and I will review whatever you got for us and see what we can do to either bring it to you or make this better. So
For sure.
appreciate you guys tuning in. Chance, thank you again, man. Appreciate it.
You bet.
We will catch you guys next week for another Fall Obsession podcast episode. We'll see you later.
See you later.